Okay, this is my last try trying to do this in one take. I'm Cameron, I'm 31 years old. I quit weed 31 days ago, and I want to just make a video to let you know what the withdrawals are like, what to expect, and basically like how I felt through the whole thing. It's a bit of a personal one, and it's just going to be raw and authentic because I see a lot of people making videos saying you'll become Superman, you're going to have mental clarity, you're going to have all of this stuff, like, blah, 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 like shut up. Shut up, bro. No, it's not how it works. It's not reality for everyone. But anyway, I used to smoke like 5 to 7 a day from morning to night. I was very functional on it. Could go to work on it. I was actually better at work and would perform better at work. And even though I did stink of it at work, and I work in hospitality, my landlord and my managers were like happier with me doing that because I would perform at such a high level and customers would be so happy. Um, and yeah, like, so it was one of those symbiotic relationships for me with it where I really felt like it wasn't a negative thing in my life, but I was aware after I turned 30 years old that something had to change. Because the last time I looked, I was like 25. I've been smoking since like 20. I had a break when I was a teenager and just thought, nah, I'm not doing this. And then just fell back into it. And then just time passed and time passed. You know, you were social with it. And then suddenly I'm 31. So, yeah, don't be like me if you're younger than me. Don't fall into that trap because you're going to lose years of your life to something that's supposed to be positive and help us. It's not always that. Um, but yeah, let's get into the video. So, withdrawals. How does it feel when you stop smoking for a month? And how does it feel on the first few days when you go cold turkey? I can tell you, fuck, sucks. Like, it really sucks. I know I can't swear on YouTube, so I'm trying my hardest. I swear a lot. But yeah. So the first thing was the anger, right? And I don't know about you, but like I started to get angry if I didn't have it at home. I've still got about 5G sat downstairs untouched for the last month. I knew I was never ever going to be able to take a break if I did not have it in the house. Not as an emergency backup, just because I know I get stressed out when it's not there. And if you ras it like I ras it, you know what I'm talking about. You need to have it, otherwise you're gonna be all stressed out. But I have anger problems as it is. I'm just a very angry person. I use that anger to tackle tasks and like do positive things. And like I've been to therapy and done all that stuff. So I know how to harness my anger and use it in a positive way. And cannabis was really not helping with that. Now, 31 days later, that anger's not gone. So if you have underlying issues, right, whatever it is, whether it be anxiety, depressive states, anger issues, they're not going to just go away because you stop smoking. It's not going to be this magic cure. So if that's what you're looking for, like, don't not stop because of that, but like, you're going to have to deal with that. But also, quitting didn't bring up all this trauma that I had from before and make me go, oh my God. You know what I mean? It just made me like kind of normal again and like able to see it without having to be overwhelmed by it or get super hyper emotional about it. Now, in terms of like physical withdrawals, they suck, but they only suck for about a week. So if you can get through that week, which is probably the hardest thing to do, you're basically going to sweat for 5 days. You're going to sweat out for 5 days, right? Man, I'm good at stopping swearing. But yeah, you're going to sweat out so much and it's going to feel really weird. You're going to feel all the toxins coming out of you and it's not going to be nice. Same with your sleep, it's going to be disrupted and it's not going to be very fun at all. But you'll get through the sleep bit. You'll just toss and turn and then you start having dreams again and then you start getting like looking forward to sleeping and then yeah, the sleep was the easiest bit. It took about 3-4 days. Now I also lost my appetite and food just stopped tasting good and it was just like really annoying because I started kickboxing recently. I thought let's start rassing it, see how much muscle we can put on, see how much stronger we can get, and by the end of the month I have got stronger and got muscle. But yeah, that happened too. Like you couldn't eat, so I was just going backwards from where I was. Now, I don't know if you know, but like cannabis changes your metabolism in a way that makes you not be able to process stuff like in the same way. So you're not going to put on muscle and like the proteins and everything in the correct way as if you just weren't having it. So I learned that after I started taking the tea break, and subsequently, yeah, I've got bigger. My muscle mass has increased. I know I'm skinny as, but yeah. And yeah, that's basically the physical withdrawals. Now, mentally, it's the boredom that I want to talk about. And I guess we'll move on to part 2 of the video, which is my top 3 tips of how to avoid relapsing. Which, for me, you have to find something you love to do and start doing it. That thing you always wanted to do that you haven't so much been putting off, but you haven't been putting 100% effort into because you've been rassing it. You need to start doing that. That, for me, was both music and my TikTok shop stuff. Now, I do TikTok shop on the side. It makes me money. It's been doing it for like 18 months. I've been able to do it as a high functioning store owner very easily, right? Because it's pretty low effort. I mean, these guys are not good at this. But yeah. Now, I'm not going to say my video quality improved, but my work rate improved. I went from making 10 to 15 videos a day to making like 50, 60, 70 videos, short form videos, shoppable content a day, like bang. And I started making music again after a 2-year break of like what I was calling writer's block. But actually I was just rassing to avoid the fact that I felt not good enough to make music because the cannabis made me feel like I wasn't good enough, even though I'm actually very talented, but I couldn't see that because I was smoking so much. So yeah, that's kind of the other thing. You need to find the thing that you love to do to combat that boredom. And when you stop, your confidence is going to go whoop. And it might be quick, it might not, but like when I made that first song again, like it's like that beginner's luck thing all over again. And it's like having your first zoot all over again, where you make the best thing you've ever made in your life again. And you're like, I don't know how to replicate that. And then you get all imposter syndrome and all like that. But it just feels good this time. So, yeah. My other tip is, like I said at the start, have some at home, like I have downstairs right now. Because otherwise you're never ever going to stop. You need to have it at home. Not just for the discipline's sake, but if you're like me, you just need it there. You just need it to have it there. Like I need it there. And I've actually given it out to friends throughout the month who do Ross it, who've come to stay with me, who have went on sober nights out with. And I got great joy in skinning up, man. I love it. I love it so much. I love the plant so much. I'm not going to stop loving the plant just because I don't indulge in it. I'm not going to say it's this horrible thing. But it's just for you as a person, look yourself in the mirror and what's it doing for you? Because I had to do the same thing. But yeah, I'm not sure if this video is any good. I'm just kind of letting off a load of thoughts. I have notes and I'm not even like going off them. I'm just kind of like, what haven't I talked about? But yeah, the other thing is exercise, right? If you exercise at 70% for 22 minutes, it will activate the cannabinoid receptors in your head that will give you the same kind of, not talking about runner's high, because I hate running, right? I don't want to start running. I know I'll have to at some point, but I don't want to do it, man. I'm not talking about running. I'm talking about any exercise. So I kickbox. You could literally skateboard. You could literally just skateboard at 70% for 22 minutes, and you will not have the craving anymore. Every time I came out of kickboxing, even before I stopped, I was coming out of kickboxing going, I don't even want to brass it. And I would have one strapped on me ready for when I finished. Like, oh, this will be a good reward. I didn't want it. So, yeah. That. I know some of you don't want to hear that. But, like, suck it up and do it. To be honest with you. Like, it's life. We have to exercise to be healthy. And at 31, I'm realizing I can either enter the last years of my prime getting as fit and healthy as possible, or I can get achy and have no energy and get really weak like I was getting. And I've decided that I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to be a big, strong man. I don't back macho masculinity, but whether you're a man, a woman, they, them, it doesn't matter. Be a healthy human being, yeah? Especially if you're approaching your 30s or just over 30, because after that, it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder. So just do it. Now, what's the point of the whole video? Honestly, I don't know. I'm just here to give you an insight of what I learned over the last 30 days. I documented the whole thing on TikTok on a personal account just to do it as a little diary. And I guess my biggest tip to you guys is that you should start a social media account whilst you do this, if you want to do it. And to not tell your friends and family as well until you're like a week through. Because if you tell your friends and family, it's so much easier to just do what they expect you to do and fold. But if you start a social media account and you're around my age or 25 plus and you have 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds telling you, you're inspiring me to stop, you're gonna carry on. You're going to carry on. And if you don't, you're a very person. Like you're a piece of, yeah. I couldn't live with myself knowing that those kids were watching what I was doing and using me as an example. And that's why I carried on. And it actually makes me feel so good that I have inspired those people. So if you're watching this from the TikTok, thank you. You're the reason I did it. You're the reason I'm still sober now. And I will go back to it, probably. This isn't going to be my last zoot ever, like whatever. No, I will probably go back to it. That's fine. But I would rather go back to it in 2 months' time after Q4's over, or 1 year's time when I'm on holiday somewhere or traveling somewhere, or 3-4 years' time when I've made a load of money and I can relax, than go back to it just because I did a month and my receptors are reset and it's all out of my system. Like, no, I want to do stuff now. I'm sure you guys do too. So if you guys do want to do anything with your life and you feel like it's holding you back, I guess just drop a comment. We'll have a chat. I'll make a follow-up video. And yeah, this is just my first video. I don't expect it to do well. I'm not trying to get mad famous on YouTube. I am trying to make some sort of income off YouTube, but I might get demonetized for the stuff that I speak about. I'm going to make a completely separate video on TikTok Shop. It's going to have nothing to do with this in a minute. But yeah, just thought I'd let these thoughts out. Thanks for watching, guys. And I might clip in some other bits that I did whilst trying to make this video. But I think I just talked about it for like 5 or 10 minutes. So yeah, hopefully I didn't run out of memory. But yeah. Thanks. See you later.